Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Certic Security Leaderboard Showcase. I'm your host, Aaron Leibowitz. As you all saw in the past 2 weeks, in the showcase, we host a guest for a live AMA. We discuss their work with CertiK, the Security Leaderboard, and we throw in some live questions from you, the audience. Today, we have a special format for you. I will be joined by my friend and colleague, Marco Calicchia. Marco, can you introduce yourself and your role in CertiK?
Yeah. Hey, Aaron. Thanks for having me here. So I'm the Director of Business Development here at Certic, well, focusing on Certix Shield, which is our insurance platform. I'll give a little bit of my background. I've been in crypto since 2016. Initially invested in Ethereum, started a company managing communities for ICOs. One thing led to the next, and then I joined CertiK in December of 2020. So it's been here just a few months, 5 months, but it feels like a few years.
Yeah,
the crypto space moves really fast.
That's for sure. So I suppose we should dive in and explain and show what the security leaderboard looks like and what it is. Why don't we show the leaderboard? So here's what you see when you land at certik.org. You've seen this over the past couple of weeks, and we will continue to show it as we update it with new features. For example, there's the community alerts section here on the right, where you can alert us of a potentially flawed project, as well as look at others that have been alerted. Scrolling down, you're going to see more information, the score risers and fallers. And let's go ahead and click into a project. So we had Kyle and Network on last week, who actually mentioned Marco in their discussion with us. We see the Skynet analysis here, the sentiment analysis, and then we can click over into the other security primitives. Marco, do you want to give us a little overview of Skynet and how it works and why people use it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I got to thank Dylan for mentioning me last week. I feel like we have a very close relationship with all our projects. And most of the projects that we onboard, they come to us wanting an audit. But obviously, we are quite busy. We have a huge backlog of audits. Sometimes it could take over a month for audits to start, which is why we've decided to also integrate the Skynet. And the Skynet offers an overview of the security of the smart contract. So you'll see in Skynet, you'll have certain primitives like the security assessment, the governance of the smart contract. Depends what the smart contract is. Could be the token, and then it gives also the market volatility of the project. So it's an overall look of the security of the project or of the smart contract. The reason why a lot of projects onboard Skynet. One, it could be, they could have a budget restriction, or they need a faster turnaround. So a lot of projects ask us, is Skynet enough for us to go back to the investors? It isn't. So the Skynet is just an add-on tool. So what we like to do is, we would like to activate the Skynet beforehand. So because it takes 5 days. So this is something that you can go back at least to the community and show them that you've engaged CertiK, as well as you do have an additional security. Obviously, it offers a monitoring tool, it has a sentiment analysis, it has a score of the smart contract. So once that's active, then you at least have something to show the community while you wait for the actual audit to be done. So I hope that answers kind of your question of what the Skynet is and how we position it to projects and what the value is for them and the investors.
I think that was a great answer. That gave a good overview of exactly what it does. Again, as you said, it is a start. It's not a complete, it's an element of our security solution. It is not an end in itself. It's not a full solution to be used on its own.
Correct.
Yeah, so obviously we talked about the other products that we offer are the audits, which are, of course, mandatory in the space now. But when we started, they weren't quite so much. They've become required, even to be listed on exchanges, to be sort of taken seriously as a project. Would you say that's about right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then we have the Certix Shield, which we've mentioned a few times before, is a decentralized mutual or an insurance alternative for your crypto assets. you want to dive into Shield a little bit and how that can help projects, help communities, make everyone a little more secure and bring up security in the DeFi space as a whole?
Yeah, so we'll use Kylan Network as an example. So once the audit is done, a lot of community members want the projects they want to secure their funds, the tokens that they own. So we receive a lot of requests from the community to open up a pool, which is what it is. It's, we open a pool for these projects to protect their own funds, in case there's an attack, just like a DDoS or reentrance, or there's a vulnerable code which is draining their funds. Then we can protect the funds through this. It's a staking, it's a decentralized collateral pool, which there's people staking in it, and that's used to then reimburse the project. So, for example, Killen started with I think it was like $500,000 for a few months protection, and then once we opened the pool, we made available a certain amount, which the community ended up buying all of it. So obviously, it's not just for the project itself. The community is also looking for a way to protect their own funds, and it's understandable. Projects are at early stage; anything could happen.
For sure. Thank you for that. A good question to follow up on that is: can retail investors or yield farmers use the Security Leaderboard to help with a little bit of DYOR, and how would they go about doing that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So, investors could use a leaderboard to get a better insight into the project. It's not just the security, it's the overall sentiment of the project. So, you'll see projects right now that are at above 90 score. They obviously have a much better sentiment from the whole market. It's not just the overall security. And of course, once they get the audits, their score increases. But investors are looking for that, right? Investors are looking for projects that once they put their money in, they want these projects to be growing, to be secured. So it definitely offers them an overview at the overall, sentiment of the project if to invest in it or not. So yeah, for sure.
Thank you for that. And so we put out a tweet earlier talking about tonight's episode and offering some incentive for great questions. The chat is going wild right now with some questions. The last one I see here is the leaderboard on the main site? That's correct. If you go to certic.org, you will see the security leaderboard. That's exactly where you go for that. We'll have that scroll across the bottom at some point moving forward. And I guess we can dive into some community questions. So let's see. Can you use real-time security updates on your website and percentage gained? We do have real-time monitoring with the Skynet solution. And as for percentage gained, I'm not sure what exactly is being asked about there, if they're talking about Skynet's scores increasing or what. But yeah, we'll see how that goes if we get some follow-up on that question. Shall we move on here? All right, here's a good one. What are the requirements for an audit? Marco, can you speak to that? You frequently deal with that first touch with the project.
Sure. Yeah. So we just need the smart contracts to be shared. So what we do is we review the code. If it's a GitHub or if it's just a smart contract that is deployed on BSC or Ethereum scan, and then we just review it and we provide an overall time frame and quote. So some people ask, should it be on testnet? Should it be on mainnet? Well, we actually want to review the code that is kind of complete, so we don't face the issue of having to review it again or re-quote it again if changes are made. So we do want contracts to be kind of like at least 90% complete to give us a better understanding of what to expect when we're auditing it. That's pretty much it.
That makes a lot of sense. And follow up on that. But while audits are ongoing, it's the industry standard not to speak about them until they're complete for exactly that reason you were just talking about. If there are changes that need to be made, there might be things that will be changed before a final report. So, I think everyone in the space sort of does that.
Yeah. Yeah, we get a lot of questions of people asking when is the audit done. So yeah, we can't really disclose.
Yeah, it's definitely common across the top security companies to do exactly that, to not comment until we're complete. So let's dive into some more questions here. Here's a good one. Too many coins have sprung up recently. How does CertiK handle security on those? And I would say actually that community alert section that I pointed out before in the leaderboard is a really good way. A lot of projects are not getting audited. If you're investing in unaudited projects, that is a difficult one. You're taking a lot of risk there yourself. When we have those community alerts, it's helpful to give you an indicator, but there's nothing that's exactly 100%. What's your take on that, Marco?
Yeah, I mean, I think we receive like at least 10 requests a day. So there is a lot of projects that people feel could be risky. And this is why, we expect most projects to get an audit before they launch. Some projects decide to launch before they audit, that's their choice. But as an investor myself, I always want the project to be 100% secured before they go launch.
For sure. And if anyone here has been in our clubhouses, the DeFi Security Roundtable, that would be Marco and I again hosting those and chatting. So you may find our voices familiar and these answers familiar, as we have answered some of these before. Another good one here. How long does it take for an audit? And if the audit is completed, does it mean that it's 100% safe? I'll tackle this part of that. Certainly not. There's no such thing as 100% safe in anything, but an audit is us reviewing the code that we're given, doing penetration testing, manual review to make sure that the code makes sense and does what it is supposed to do. There are things that can happen beyond an audit that are outside of the scope of what an audit can cover. That is why we have an end-to-end security suite with that on-chain monitoring and that reimbursement protection of the Certix Shield mutual. What about the length of an audit and how long it takes? I know it's pretty variable, but can you give sort of a range on that one?
Yeah, it really does vary. So like if it's just like even a fork of a contract, people like, this is just another fork. It really depends on the complexity and the length of the code itself, because we do look at the difference, so the delta of the code. We don't just, even if it's a fork or SafeMoon, for example, we don't just, replicate the work and just deliver the audit. So the typical is, like if it's just a smart contract, it could be anywhere between 3 to 5 days, and that also reflects on the price. If we're going into like a whole protocol, a DEX, something which is a bigger repo, it could be anywhere, upwards of 10 days. And again, that obviously has a different price to it. And also, our delivery, kind of like if it's a smaller contract, we could do it a bit sooner than later. So it's it really all depends on the contracts that we're reviewing. That defines the date.
For sure. I think that was a pretty comprehensive answer there. Another good question from the chat here. Is Certic the leading audit company in the space? I mean, I think so. But what makes you guys stand out against the others? We're certainly well regarded and a top auditor in the space. I think Marco will speak to, we're accepted by all major exchanges. We have secured some of the top projects in DeFi. Anything to add to that, Marco?
We're exclusive partners of BSE, so we're very closely connected to the whole BSE community. I'm personally very well connected to a lot of the top projects in BSE and PancakeSwap as well. So yeah, that's what kind of sets us apart in the BSE community for sure. And I feel that a lot of the projects right now are, I would say, are like 3-to-1 BSE compared to others. So it really helps us as overall for sure.
And beyond that, actually, unlike any of the other auditors that I'm aware of, we're the only one with the end-to-end security solution, doing the pre-deployment audits, the on-chain monitoring with Skynet, and the reimbursement protection with Certix Shield.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And we're the only ones that are probably accepted by all exchanges. So we've built those partnerships in the past years. So yeah, it's definitely that whole 360 package that we do that sets us apart.
Yeah, all of that. I think that's a very comprehensive sort of security solution that we've provided that is definitely unique.
Yeah, and also, I mean, obviously we have outstanding team of engineers. I think we're above 40 or 50 engineers right now. So I don't know any other auditing firm that has such a huge team. This is like, even though we still have a backlog, I can just imagine the other auditing firms, what kind of, the length they have to go to wait to deliver their audits. So it's, yeah, I mean, we have a really strong team. It's not just the fact that we're a strong brand. It's everything that really puts us above most auditors.
Yeah, I think that's all true. There are two more good questions I'm going to throw up here. First is, are there different levels of audits that would make institutions happy? And I think I can take that one and say, actually, no matter what the project we're working with is, our audits are all going to be the same level of comprehensive manual reviews of code. Is that correct, Marco?
Yeah, that's totally correct. Yeah.
Another good one, do you continue the audit after launch? If yes, what kind of report do you provide to the audience? So I think that comes back to our Skynet solution, which is the on-chain post-deployment monitoring of the smart contracts. And the kind of reports that generates actually include the 6 security primitives that you saw on certic.org when you click into any of the projects with Skynet. And you can click through those different tabs and parse through all of that data. There's tons and tons of data there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And obviously, it's like the reports that we provide, we offer recommendations of the changes that gotta be made. So, we also do an additional review once the changes are done. So it's not just a comprehensive report. We make sure that nothing happens during, going forward after the audit is done. We have to make sure that the things that we suggest you're doing, you make the changes, and then we deliver the report, which is then added onto the Certic org profile.
All of that. And I do want to remind everybody, you can check the Twitter posts from Certic.org for the rules of this, but there is a reward pool. $500 worth of BNB will be divided over the top 10 questions answered today. Make sure you do check the post for the rules, as there are some questions in here that are not going to be eligible for receiving rewards. Another great one here. Do all projects listen to your audit suggestions before launch? I would say we sometimes give multiple recommendations for different routes, and there are many different routes that can solve an issue. So they might not necessarily listen to our suggestion, but they're certainly made aware of an issue that's flagged. Yeah, anything to add to that?
No, I think you pretty much covered it. Yeah, so we are, at the end of the day, we are the experts on this side. So we are the auditors. So they do listen. I mean, yeah, we haven't seen a case where projects deny or kind of like sway away from what we're suggesting to them.
Yeah, I would, not in my experience, at least. Come on, guys, keep these questions coming. We've got about 10 minutes left. We want to do out these rewards. There is, okay, there's a good one for us. What are the malicious things you look into smart contracts? Marco, do you want to go ahead and take that?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously we're looking for any potential rug pull. So ownership of the contract, the burning and minting functions, we're looking into that. Yeah, like I said, it's things that we could flag as potential causes of draining of funds as well. So we make sure that the functions are properly working, and obviously the burn function is functioning properly, and the ownership of the smart contract.
Yeah, thank you. I think that definitely covers it. So guys, do remember this is the Security Leaderboard showcase. I don't want to be bringing on questions that are straying from the leaderboard. I will answer one because it's commonly asked, and I think it's good to get it out of the way, is what exactly is the Certic token used for? And the Certic token is used to power our Shield solution as well as the Certic chain. You can navigate to certik.org, click into the Certix Shield tab as well as the deep wallet, and really check it out for yourself and see everything that you can do with that. Let's see. Let's get some more questions up here. Who do we got next? Yeah, once again, the security leaderboard is on certik.org. That is exactly where you want to go for DYOR, for all of this data that we're providing. I'm not familiar. Are you familiar with Akash network, Marco?
No.
No, that's possible that that's something I'm just not aware of. It might be on the leaderboard, and you can learn more about it there. Do you have a team that looks into FUD? No, we focus on smart contract code. We are not looking into anything really beyond that. And we keep an eye on the social sentiment. Actually, if you navigate to Certic.org and you scroll down at the bottom, actually, let me bring back up that video so everyone can see. You will see that there is a sentiment analysis, which will allow you to check out what is being said about a project. As we get through this, we'll scroll down and we will see what I am mentioning here. So guys, this is a really awesome resource for you. Please do navigate here. Please do check out all of the data that we're offering. We are trying to bring transparency to the space. It's really our main mission here is to bring security and transparency. And at the bottom here, you see the social sentiment analysis under the sentiment tab at the beginning, and that will have that data I'm speaking about.
Yeah, there's a question here. Do you make the clients to fix the errors before audit release? Yeah, we do. So we make sure that the projects fix all their errors before we provide them the final report. And regarding auditing NFTs are just another Solidity smart contract. So for sure, we are actually looking into trying to get more NFT projects, NFT creators to be audited. I think it is, it's definitely growing in the market. So we'll definitely be having some NFTs coming our way.
For sure. And another great question here, is it free to access CertiK? It is totally free. In our mission of bringing transparency to space, all of the audit reports, that Skynet data, everything about it is free. Go to certik.org, check it out. There are no premium paid features. There's nothing other than transparency and data for you to help you do your research, to help secure the space. Yeah, thank you for that. Let's see, what else can we sort of get to today? I think that we've answered a lot of great questions. I think we're waiting for a few more to come in. Let's go back to the Twitter and see if we got any there. Somebody's asking, where are the questions coming from? We're streaming live to YouTube, to Theta, to Twitter, and I think that's it right now. So questions are being aggregated from all across different sources. People are asking about specific partnerships. Go to certik.org, look at our blog, look at the leaderboard. That's the source of truth for anybody we're working with, any onboarding, anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw many steps are there to an audit. Like I said, it's an initial review phase where we then provide a quote. We send, once everything is agreed, like pricing and stuff, we then, we send the contract, we sign up the client, we onboard them onto Certic.org. And then once we're ready to audit, we create a group on Telegram. I'm sure everyone uses Telegram. And then we we start the audit. Once it's done, or at least once the preliminary audit is done, we send the comments, the changes to be made to the team. They make the changes, they send them back, and then we deliver the final report. So I don't know how many steps that is. It's probably like 3 or 4. maybe high. It's like, I don't know.
That's the process. There's a number somewhere to be found. Will future be required to sustain position on the leaderboard? That's a great question. And, to sustain your position on the leaderboard, I'll have to look into that and get back to you on that next week. I am not sure. I don't believe so, but yeah, we're going to have to think on that one and come back with a good answer for you. Is there any plan for a launchpad or partnership? It's a good question. I think we've been so busy recently with all of the audits. Marco mentioned our backlog before, that we are having trouble just keeping up with what we have coming our way. Launching new products is definitely in the pipeline, but to give you a concrete roadmap would be very difficult. Yeah, Clint, no worries. We saw your question. How does the audit score work? That's a great question. So the audit score is, the audit report will be generated by our team and give you a sort of overview of all the issues found, and the final report should have resolves. But the score you're probably asking about would be coming from that Skynet with those 6 security primitives and the on-chain monitoring that we mentioned before. Again, go to certic.org, click into any of the projects with Skynet, and you will be able to see exactly how that works. You'll be able to see all of the data inputs there. Really, really cool, awesome product by our team. Let's see.
Will future audits be required to sustain position on the leaderboard? No. But if you do have a future audit, definitely come back to us. But no, you don't need a future audit to sustain the position. We currently have Skynet active, also running for lifetime until that there's no monthly fee for that.
Yeah. Oh, we have another question up here. How do you go about verifying market cap, especially with IDO or ICO? I think that we use some trusted partners for feeding us the market cap data, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look into that and get back to you, though. That's a good question, and I don't have an exact answer for you today. I think we might want to start wrapping it up. Again, everyone, please, thank you, first of all, for the questions. We got so many questions and such a great outpouring today. Really happy to see that. Please do go ahead and go to certic.org, follow us on YouTube, subscribe, join us again next week. And I'll leave us with the last question here. Any final tips for investors that you want to share, Marco?
Do your own research. No, of course, that's like the typical one, right? Yeah, I mean, just be cautious in the space for sure. And buy high, sell low, right?
I don't think that's quite right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me, Marco.
Yeah, and if the community wants to ping me for any questions about audit or just in general, you can tag me, or you can ping me on Telegram, Certic Marco. So feel free to shoot me a question.
Excellent. And you'll see all of us in the Certic Telegram, on the Twitter. You feel free to reach out to us anywhere, guys. Thanks so much for joining us today. Have a good one.
Thanks, Aaron. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.